what you don't know!
Most curious.
This don't seem Jake to me. I ain't no moron! Come here, hon. Got a sweetheart.
Gonorrhea,
This fella Atlas has been making the rounds down here, trying to bring some kind of order to this pit. All the splicers think the man walks on water, but something about him smells stink to me. Reminds me a bit of my former employer, Frank Fontaine. Always talking about how he was going to lift Rapture right out of the old man's wallet. No fuss, no muss. See where that got him.
Yeah?
Atlas sent me here for some Old Man Winter.
You haven't been around here long, have you?
What makes you say that?
'Cause you're the only one of us that don't smell like the reptile house at the zoo. Now be quick about it, and just take the winner. This ain't the Goodwill. So Atlas asked me to figure out where to strike first when we bust out of this place, but, you know, it all depends on when we get out, you know? I mean, November 5th is a big foul.
Freeze your enemies. Shatter them into 1,000 pieces.
Ending of Rapture Shindig at Fort Frolic.
Just what we needed. That was the last of it.
Now you think you can manage?
You're heartless. Totally heartless!
Unaccustomed to such strange noises.
Seems to me you're against a guy making an honest buck. I thought Rapture was open for business. I've always been there for you!
You'll have to... Second Raider, that's you!
Now we won't immediately die of CO2 poisoning the moment we turn around. Well, not the perfect phosphor frequency, but it'll do. Out of Eve. Suchong must have a supply stashed here somewhere. ready.
Let's fire it up and see. What did I tell you?
Booker. Look. You're on the First Lady. It can't be this easy. The First Lady Mark II was built around a particle lift system, just like all the buildings in the city. I read all about it in the Columbian Scientific. The particles seated at the top of the structure must be up that lift. Perfect.
Like a lot of technology just to float an airship. Comstock never heard of hydrogen.
The First Lady Mark I did run on hydrogen, and it was destroyed by a single bullet from a Vox sniper. Unfortunately, the Prophet wasn't on board at the time. If I take the active particle, then the First Lady is just a 40-ton paperweight. Best, here we go. Now let's head back through that tear.
You honestly expect Atlas to honor his side of the deal?
No, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
How you plan on handling Atlas? He ain't just some spliced-up maniac.
He'll make a mistake. I just have to be ready to take advantage of it when it happens.
All for a girl you barely know.
How well did you know me when you came to Columbia?
Pretty lady not finished yet.
What? Open the tear.
Powerful device, very expensive. Tit for tat.
Just tell me what you want.
Such a wonder something is simple. Lock of hair.
Oh, you're not serious.
Not your hair, stupid. Think has a secret life. Mothballed, forgotten. In there, hair sample. In jar. Cannot miss it. You get for suture. Then everybody friends.
Where's his lab?
Closed off, past Fink's quarters. You smart lady, you find.
Should have seen that one coming.
Vox Populi. We must have arrived right in the middle of the siege.
That means the other you and I.
Press to generate a bullet-snatching shield that places ammo into your gun.
They're probably inside the factory. On our way up to the First Lady.
And what happens if we run into ourselves?
We won't,
How do you know that?
because we didn't.
Taken your counsel, and you done me good service, but I will not hurt the boy. I will see Fink and Comstock burn, but I will not hold the son to account for the deeds of his father.
You've misunderstood us.
We neither asked you to harm the child.
Nor did we promise that yours would be the hand that would set Comstock's world afire.
A famous man once said,
And a famous man shall say,
I may reach the mountaintop,
but I fear I shall never visit the valley below.
But you mean I won't live to see the... No.
It's up to you what matters more.
Your part in the play.
Or the play itself.
Someone is coming.
She'll arrive a girl.
She must leave. a woman.
And what makes the difference between a girl and a woman?
Blood.
Your part in the play.
Or the play itself?
Turn her into a killer? How?
Give the girl no choice.
And she will be forced to make one.
Who's out there?
Yeah, there's a war coming. You can smell it in the air. Fear, hatred, people dying every day. But how many more will suffer if we rise up? Violence begets violence, I know this. I've seen this. The rational mind argues for a peaceful solution to find a common ground, but what common ground is there to find for a father who watches his child bleed out in the street? How do you deny him his vengeance? I know that fire that burns deep inside. I know it all too well. And when the time comes...
Think.
A giant clock.
Sort of. Looks like the mechanism unlocks certain activities when Fink gives his blessing.
So what? We're stuck waiting for the cuckoo to go off?
No, there's a slot for some kind of key for manual winding. We just gotta find that.
Sure seems like a lot of work to lock down a few doors.
Yeah, well, if there's one thing Fink loves, it's a lot of work.
Our current state of being, or lack thereof, has left my brother unfulfilled. The biological urge to leave one's mark is strong. And
we've got the clock key. idiot and his lock of hair.
Listen, I got you your guns. I'm here for my action.
But my Booker DeWitt died for the Vox Populi. You either an imposter or a ghost. My Booker DeWitt was a hero to the cause, a story to tell your children. You just complicate the narrative.
Look, are you there? I miss you. You were the only one who ever... You were my only friend. Booker.
I'm not even here. I'm a projection of your own.
Could you humor me then? Please.
I think Booker would miss you.
Who's there? I heard you. Oh, what you do?
Jesus, it's ripe in here. Say something. Who is?
Find her.
Don't think you can hide from me.
Where are you? Oh, escape me! Get it.
Daisy sacrificed herself. Set me up to kill her, to turn me into what?
Killer.
Yeah, well, mission accomplished. I'm no martyr. How did you do it, Booker? How did you...
Elizabeth, I'm not Booker.
Neither am I.
Seems like Fink and Suchong were sharing their research.
Like the Luteces. Cross-reality collaboration.
What is all this?
Imprinting. That's a wire mother. If you separate a gorilla from its real mother, it will imprint on almost anything. Even that.
Why would Fink care about that?
Songbird. He wanted him to imprint on me.
Well, if I recall, that was a problem he solved.
These poor things. Fink couldn't get them to imprint, so I left them to die. Imprinting failed. That can't be right. Clearly they formed a connection between Songbird and me.
How?
I was so young, I always remember him just being there. It must be a prototype or something.
Is it human?
Does it matter? I tried hypnotherapy.
On the Songbird. How'd that go?
About as well as you'd expect. Booker. The little girl in the film. It's me. My God. I remember he'd crashed into the tower. I guess he was in some sort of fight. I waited there thinking I don't know, that something would happen, but he just lay there. Moaning. I couldn't just...
The line with the thorn in its paw. So much for science.
I should have just left him there to die. I should have just... I will never escape it. Exploited, exploiting, me, Comstock, you, Sally. It's like a wheel of blood spinning round and round. Well, this must be the genetic sample Suchong wanted.
He sent you all the way back here for a sample of your own hair?
He doesn't know I was once the child that imprinted on Songbird. But to him, all the answers lie in DNA. Men like Suchong mistake an ounce of empathy for a pound of science.
It's open! See if anything's worth reappropriating. Check for stragglers. Spread out!
What? You gonna answer for this, girl? Punch it down! Who's out there?
Come out, Peggy! You're next, you hear me?
No surrender! Let down live!
You don't long live Daisy! I can smell ya. Here, get me. Kill her! Beg for death!
Do you think Daisy really even had a choice?
What do you mean?
Right about now, I'm planting a pair of scissors in her back to protect a child she was never going to harm. She chose to die for her revolution. What about me? For all the endless worlds, all the infinite possibilities. Did I ever even have a choice? Did you?
Yeah. Booker thought he did.
Look where it got us. Right back where we started. All these infinite universes. And yet we end up just going down the same paths.
I don't take your meaning.
My father sold me to settle a marker. Comstock locked me up in a tower. And I sold Sally for what? Revenge? To prove a point?
And yet, here you are, settling the debt.
And so we find the old past their damage to the young. Isn't it too late for her now?
Well, I'd say that's up to her to decide. Justice coming back here was up to you.
Rapture runs